Hey lady, welcome to the Grit, Growth, Grace podcast. If we haven't met, my name is Anne Marie. I'm wife to James and mom to 4 beautiful kids, plus 1 miscarried baby, from 9 months up to 8 years. My hope is to help other women experience the postpartum period all the way up to the first year of baby's life as a time of grit, growth, and grace. Hi lady. This week, let's talk what a girl is to do when she's got a new or newish baby and her older kid or kiddos are acting a fool. Maybe it's sort of funny, like when your kid points to your belly and tells the new baby to go back inside. Or maybe it's more painful when your 2-year-old gets super clingy and whiny and needs you right now, all the time. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because I don't think this topic needs a master's thesis. I'm just going to share a couple things I believe made sibling jealousy not a thing when I was growing up, such that I didn't even know that was a thing for other people until I was older. And then I'll share something James and I are purposeful about to help our kids learn independence and self-soothing. Okay, first up, my family of origin. I grew up with 1 older brother and 5 younger siblings, plus a miscarried sibling. We were so excited when a new baby came. Literally thrilled. There was a culture of unconditional positive regard towards babies in my house. Now, that term, unconditional positive regard, is a principle in psychology that says you don't have to earn my acceptance or respect, nor do you have to worry about losing it. You just get it. Pope St. John Paul II spoke of a personalistic norm, whereby every single human person has innate, inherent, and inviolable dignity given to them by God, just because they exist. As such, people are subjects, not objects, and therefore should be loved and not used. Well, my family practiced the personalistic norm toward babies. They were viewed as an unqualified good. My parents only talked about babies coming as an exciting thing. But at a certain point, the older kids were so bought in that we taught our younger siblings how to view babies. I think this has something to do with it too. We prayed every single night for an end to abortion. From the time we were very little and understood only that abortion meant babies died inside their mama's bellies, we sensed that they were little and vulnerable and needed our protection. They needed our help, and their lives were valuable, not because of anything they could do, but just because they were. On a practical level, when new babies came, as I grew up, so did fun things. There was a break from homeschooling for a time if the baby came during the school year. There were delicious meals brought over by people we knew well or people we knew very little. There were newborn snuggles and trying to get the new baby to laugh or smile or interact. What a feeling of accomplishment there was when you could get the new baby to coo or giggle at you. In my family now, with my own children, the arrival of a new baby still heralds good tidings. Our older kids know to expect delicious meals, including meals from restaurants, thanks to gift cards. They know there will be people visiting more than usual. They know there will be a few extra excursions to the park, or the library, or trips to a grandma tribe member's house while I go to doctor's appointments, etc. They know there will be a new toy or treats in other ways. And of course, there will still be the squishy newborn to snuggle and hold. There's something else we do to help our kids adjust to the new baby. Starting when they themselves are just a few months old, we make sure each of our kids has regular playtime alone in a safe place, like on a blanket in the living room, or when they can sit up with board books in their bed. When they get older, we have a gray plastic enclosure that we jokingly call baby jail, but that keeps all of their toys and board books inside of it so they can read and just sit and be contained safely. I do not pacify my babies at the breast. They nurse only when they're hungry, and I don't wear my babies while I'm cleaning or doing tasks around the house. Now, if they're crying, I'll pick them up, but the older they get, the more time I give them to self-soothe before going to get them. This is for my sanity, yes, but it's for more than that. It's so that they gradually learn to recover from small injuries or loneliness or boredom, etc. by themselves. They don't expect that I will drop everything at the first sound from them. And because I do not come immediately every time they make a noise, they learn not to expect that of me. That way, when a new baby comes, there's a bit less of a shift in how I relate to them. It's not, especially for a toddler, right, who's going to be naturally the one who's most attached to you. It's not, my mom used to always drop everything for me and now she can't do that anymore. It's a little more subtle a transition, a little less jarring. And with my bigger kids, who are 8 and 6, they're learning boundaries with me too. My time is not always their time. That goes especially for my part-time work from home, but it also goes for regular life. If I'm talking to somebody on the phone, if I'm in conversation with somebody, if I'm working or otherwise busy and it's not an emergency, they need to learn to wait. They also have quiet time every afternoon where they're expected to keep themselves busy in their room. They might choose to draw or build with Legos or read, but they are to stay there and figure out how to pass the time by themselves. When our kids know more or less what to expect of themselves and of us, they are more peaceful. And that tends to lead to less or no jealousy when a new sibling arrives. Now, that doesn't mean there will be no emotional outbursts or behavior regression. A big life change, including a positive life change, is still a stressor, and therefore it's not surprising when an older child starts using baby talk again for a time, or maybe has accidents, etc. But specifically resenting the baby, I believe, doesn't have to happen. That's not a given. I don't know what behaviors in your household are currently keeping jealousy at bay or inviting it in the front door, lady. I hope you'll give that some thought. If you find there are other attitudes or behaviors that prevent sibling jealousy, I'd love for you to share them with me. Maybe I will incorporate them too. And if you realize there are attitudes or behaviors that are keeping your children from learning age-appropriate boundaries, I'd love for you to sort of hold them away from you at a distance and look at them and judge. No, not judge. Assess. Just assess what you might like to change and who can help you do that. And if this topic has you a little prickly, lady, maybe that's okay. Maybe you reject everything. Maybe you keep some things. I don't know what will make the most sense for you, but I would simply offer that if sibling jealousy is a part of your current experience or has been in the past, I would simply say, is it possible for you to sort of hold the ideas that I presented here at a distance, not in a way where they mean anything about you, especially who you are as a person or how good you are as a mom, but maybe you could just sort of hold them and look at them and see if there's anything in them that is of value, and if there is, that's terrific, and if there's not, no sweat, and on with your day. Next week, let's talk how I'm preparing for postpartum as I wrap up my first trimester.